My hero. Chapter 428. Just spent the last couple minutes babbling about the past, but last time we were here, what happened in 427? We had was 427 it was the final part of the Hellish Todoroki family, no? Or was that the chapter before? Because I read so I read I want to say I read two chapters at once, so it's like they both meld together. I want to say the last thing I remember was Deku and Spinner's conversation, and Deku telling what's his face? Deku telling Spinner about Shigaraki's last words and all that stuff. Him he was gonna write a book about Shigaraki, and a matter of fact, the last chapter was it was the truth about Tomura Shigaraki, and we were watching the documentary go around to different people in Japan and giving their personal testimonies of what they thought of Tomura Shigaraki, who he was, what he did, all those things. And that was spliced in between Deku and Spinner's conversation about Shigaraki. I don't want this series to end, bro. That's it. I don't want to. Never not wanted to read something. All right. I saw his live battle against All For One. I've been a fan of Todoroki since the sports festival. Same. He's the reason I chose this career path. Same here. Me too. The girl who loves smiles. Oh, that's an Ochiko chapter. Please understand that your role models are only human. You mustn't hound them lest you turn into an unruly mob and frighten them. Happy to chat, but one at a time, please. See, it takes a lot to make Todoroki flee from a conversation. They were running in the hallway, Prez. You hear me? Running. Indeed. Rules exist for a reason. That's funny that they're they're shaken by all of their fans in the school. Furthermore, they're still convalescing in the wake of their battles. Grant them the rest and repose they require. We're so sorry about this. We spotted them and couldn't help ourselves. I would have thought Bakugo relishes an adoring crowd. Even he gets flustered by that many fans, I guess. Yeah. Okay. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. It must be nice. Girls have always kept their distance from Kachan, so maybe he's not used to female attention? Known him for years. Oh, surprising. Not surprising at all, damn it. I'll give the guy props for his heroics, but bad boys do not deserve to get chicks. Mineta, get lost already. No, sorry again. Right. Not surprising. Now I see. Excuse me, who's this? Excuse me, Midoriya-senpai. Midoriya-senpai sounds crazy. Midoriya-senpai sounds insane, no? Not coming from someone that's 5 years old? That doesn't sound crazy? What? What? I saw you in that fight, and it gave me all sorts of courage. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. This pain. Midoriya and Todoroki get a pass, but bad boys don't deserve chicks. Is he crying blood? What is that? What's happening? Mineta, what's going on? Is he crying blood? What's going on? My soul won't accept it. My soul. Okay. Hey, come on. Those battles were nuts, yeah? And they were at the center of it all. So can you really blame those kids? Dealing with the fact that these children are traumatized by everything that was happening, and they kind of don't want the extra attention. Everyone. It's like that's something crazy where it's like everyone's running up. Oh my god, you're my hero. And then they start talking. All you think about is just like, yo, people. It's like we went through a lot. We went through a lot to be kind of praised like this. It's like, relax, give us a minute. It's only been a couple of days, right? It's been a few days, couples too. It's been a few days, more than 3. It's been a few days since this all happened. Let us ease back into our lives and attempt to like go to normal, even though there probably is no such thing as it's a new normal. I should say that. Let us try to get to some sort of new normal. We've got a lot of work to do. I think it's been weeks. I thought it was a week since the battle. That's what I thought. That's why I used a few. I didn't remember how many days. I thought it was a week. And they were at the center of it all. So can you really blame those kids? Okay, Deku. All right. Staff room. The media is asking to interview Class 2A again. I'm saying no. Some of them would welcome the chance, yes? Mineta for one. But others wouldn't. They take priority. Good call. Today, we're on reconstruction duty. Are these like new gauntlets or are these just like special arm wraps? And Deku doesn't have his metal boots and he doesn't have his metal boots. He just has his shoes. It's been a minute since he hasn't had like his metal attachments on his feet. Been a minute. Okay. Since we jumped to the hospital, always with the drip. He looks cool right here. I like it. But you're right. There has been time skips. We have been jumping around in time. You're right. If it ain't Class A, it took me years to realize it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a dum-dum. I didn't realize that Fat Gum's thing is an F and a G. I realized that yesterday. Looking at someone's cosplay of his jacket. I looked at the jacket and I'm like, that says FG. Oh, snap. Never realized it. Not once. Not from the manga, not from the anime. It took me to see someone's cosplay in real life to be like, it says FG on his hoodie. Didn't realize it. I'm a dum-dum. All right. Zoom this in. Pumped to be working with you, Fat. You bet. Sun Eater's here too as my sidekick. Fake fan, come. I'll take it. This way, you all. Bring all the metal over here, please. You got Sugar Rush over here. First, we level the ground, right? It's looking flying around. This is a cool panel. Quite the damage denim, aren't you? You really ought to be recuperating, yet you are here. Gotta remember, Bakugo has a nub for he's got a nub for an arm, right? Kachan doing heavy lifting. So you're still a pipsqueak. Honestly, I'm honestly upset he's still alive. He's not living. You're not. There's multiple people that keep saying I'm mad that Edgeshot's alive. He's not living. He's a piece of thread. He ain't living. Oh no. That's what I'm saying. That's a good question. Is he? There is no lightning. He's just pushing that around. Maybe. I'm over it. The minute I was like, oh, he's gonna be stuck like this. I don't care if he dies or not because he's not living. Right? This is a cursed existence. So I'm not upset that he's still here. That's a cursed existence. He's stuck like this forever. He's stuck like this forever. This is a cursed existence. I'm not upset. He's not living. I don't know. He's not living. That man has grown hands, meaning he's growing. He's not living. So you're still a pipsqueak. Not worry not. I'm recovering, albeit slowly. I even have hands now. All right. It's been a couple weeks. He grew some. It's going to take him. Will you ever get back to normal? From the outset, I intended to seize the day in triumph. I don't care. I'm not bothered by it. I'm not. It's one of those things I'm not bothered by. It's like he'll recover eventually. He'll be an old man by the time he recovers, if he truly recovers. Got those people over here. All right, Ochiko. Everyone's doing their thing. Hey, youngsters, how about lunch? Check it out, onigiri. For us? Really? My property got blown off the map in the big battle. Bring it all back. I'm sorry. Not at all. I don't mean to say I hold it against you. When we saw you bunch fighting the good fight, we realized we had no business sitting around moping. Can't ask you to handle this job all on your own. Nah, we're ready to step up and do our part to rebuild too. It's good. That's good. After this awesome feast you laid out, we'll finish the job today. Might be a little short-handed to get it done that quickly, right? No other bus was scheduled to show up. Shiketsu kids? Sorry, Eraserhead. No. Oh, what are we saying sorry for? This is probably Cementos trying to keep people from showing up and people showing up against their will. Is that what that is? Oh, it's his class. Okay. I was about to say. I'm about to be like, who is it? My class insisted on apologizing. We're sorry again about earlier. We didn't consider what you've been through. These first years are seriously intense. And why did you humor them? Their extreme remorse got to me. You senpai fought so hard for everyone. So now we want to help you out in return. We may not have our provisional licenses and the school year's only just begun, but please let us do whatever we can. Attend to minor tasks, okay? And don't be getting in the way of the second year students. Yes, sir. These underclassmen are mysterious entities for real. We didn't prep lunch for so many though. It's fine, we already ate. Not sure how this came about, but I suppose one turn of good, hard work inspires the next, and so on. Ochiko, yeah. Little by little, things are taking a positive turn. What a relief. We know she got to have her be a part of the why is he teaching? That's a good question. We know that she was in the she was in the brunt of did we ever see the second year hero course students? I don't think we ever did. Maybe one of them. I thought we seen one of them. Wasn't she a girl? I thought so. But my point, we seen that Ochiko was in the fire post the first war and like helping people in those efforts and trying to like save individuals. And so to have her be a part of like this reconstruction and to have like the next class under them, like everything that's swirling around this whole situation, to be able to like have her view this when we seen like how hopeless it felt, and we like she's watching like adult heroes quit and they don't know what to do, and she's still trying to did you read something about the something of the girl or something stuff like that? I don't remember. I read it, forgot it. I read it. Deku's got those big beady eyes on her. That's all. I'm good, see you. Anyway, which onigiri flavor do you want, Deku? Takana greens. Wow, same here. Yeah, Takana and umeboshi pickled plums are top tier flavors. And he's locked in on her. He's locked in on her. 7 p.m. They eased up on the dormitory requirements. Those who wanted to move back home were allowed to do so. Uraraka said she's heading home for a bit. Ochako hasn't read my latest text. Oh no, Sue. Whenever Sue brings a problem to the group, it always breaks my heart because she's so emotionally invested in her friends. And she's so in her feelings. Like whenever she like lobbies something to like a group of people, it breaks my heart because she's always like with her full heart, like going to everyone and putting her full heart on display. Oh crap, what now? I messed up big time in the rush to get up here in the chopper. I didn't realize the camera battery was dead. And for some reason, she's always hated for that. Really? That day, there was no camera there to capture the end of our battle. Cityscape's looking back to normal already. I should say, I didn't even look at that. There are lights in buildings. Buildings are being built. Feels like nothing has gotten better ever since then. It's like the sun is setting and the shadows are growing long. Unlike those other times, it's really over now. Everything's been settled, and that's a good thing. The world's facing forward and ready to bring it all back. I love the fact that everyone's smiling again. Oh, I don't want to be a party pooper. Oh no. That's why, just like before, I'm dealing with this lasting pain by shutting it all away. This girl's crying so damn hard she's hiccuping. You got Deku ran up here using one for all. Yeah, Deku ran up here with Uraraka. He ran up here using one for all. That's right, because Sue would have said that, and everyone probably would have split in different ways. Everyone would have split in different ways looking for her. So he would have used one for all to dart around quickly to see if he could find her. And knowing Deku, he'd probably be like, she'd probably come here. Because especially like if they look in her room or stuff's still there, she said she was going home, but she hasn't taken anything home. Like, yeah, so he'd probably just dart around like to see where she is. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Not ready. Not ready. I don't want it. First, you thought Toga was showing up behind her for a second. I think next chapter we'll got a crazy theory. What if Uraraka died because the blood transfusion didn't work, and this is Toga just forcing the transformation to stay? That would be crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That might be a little bit too much for me. That would break my heart. I don't like that at all. That one. No. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. I don't like that. I don't take it back. Don't put that into the air. I don't like it. No way. That would hurt for all the people to die for it to be Uraraka. Hell no. I remember I had a theory at this point 2 years ago, 3 years ago. This was before we even knew who the traitor was. So whenever that was, I was like, what if it was Ochako that was the traitor? And I'm like, that would hurt. This would be disgusting. I would be inconsolable. I know someone that would condemn the series if that was real. For real. Because Ochiko's their favorite character. Condemned the series if that was the case. I can take it back. Take it back now. Take it back, because we've been so up in the air on what happened with their battle, and even for Ochako to be like, there was no one was there to capture what happened with us. I don't like it. I can't get that out of my head right now. Okay, so and I can't stop thinking about that. Nah, I can't. I'm trying not to think about it. That would be too much. That would be too much. Their tears are floating. That's why she's not able to like cry like that, because her tears are just. Do we not get the next chapter? When's the next chapter coming? Oh no, my bad. Anime's on break. The anime's on break, not the manga. I was like, we're getting the next chapter's next week. The anime is what's on break. I think it's a lot of, not all of anime's on break until after the Olympics. Some of them is, or is it all anime is on break until the end of the Olympics? So it is all of anime until the end of the Olympics. So we're not getting no anime until like September. That would be crazy. Then they're gonna skip all of the month. They're gonna skip almost them there. Well, to the end of August, I should say. That's crazy. I can't stop thinking about that. All right, so Uraraka. Uraraka's going through like that's got to be a tough pain. Oh, none of them said all of the Olympics. Okay. What was I gonna say? Uraraka is going through. She's going through this weird thing of. It's like she's going through this guilt. You think so? They're gonna end up in the sky when they're gonna Superman float like Lois and Clark. It's like she's going through this guilt of, because you have to take in everything from before, from the previous war. So it's like that confrontation, the realization of Toga's going through something, and then leading that into the conversation they had before this battle, and then the events of this battle, and how they literally couldn't come to like a common ground and a place of understanding until like they were dying. It took this extreme effort in order to break through. So to then have her like sacrifice herself and die, and she probably feels like I would feel super guilty. I know I would, because my brain would be like, damn, what if I could have realized it way before this moment and we never had to come to this battle. I think in a way, and I would wonder, because we still have yet to get into Deku's brain. He's still being the thoughtless superhero, saving other people still. But the way that Deku would feel about Shigaraki, I would assume, is the same way that Ochako feels. Like, why did it have to end up with one of us dying? Why? At least, like, Toga and Ochako were able to, I guess, be friends whenever this all ended. Like, Deku and Shigaraki never came to a common understanding. I think that's why I'm a fan of how that ended, where it's like, there was no, what's his face? There was no common ground for them. There was no common ground. They are damn near, they are, if the same kid went on two different paths, and it's like they never crossed back over. It feels like Toga and Ochako were able to come back. Like, it's like they were doing this and then they finally did this, but it was like Deku and Shiggy started off here, went this way because of life events, and I personally thought we would eventually get to here with them meeting again, and it never. Deku was trying to do this, but it never would reach his line. I didn't want to say it. That's why I'm like, it was the same like whenever you get to the end of Naruto and Hashirama and Madara are having their conversation. It's just like they had their relationship, but they're never going to see eye to eye. It's just something that will never happen. So I like how that is. So it's like they have, it's hard to say because we have yet to get into Deku's mindset. We got it a little bit, that he's frustrated that he had to kill Shigaraki. He's frustrated at that. He doesn't like it. He wishes that he could have solved it some other way. He wishes there was another way. But there wasn't. So I feel like Deku he could be a good person to talk to about this. And I feel like, and by talking to her, I mean like expressing the way that he felt about Shigaraki could help Ochako see some sort of silver lining or come to some sort of like understanding and being able to grieve and kind of like they'll probably like Deku's never gonna let it go that he had to kill Shigaraki. He never will. And Ochako probably will never let go that Toga had to do what she did. Like, she probably never will. But I feel like this conversation could help her begin those steps into not letting it consume. Because right now, Ochako won't even let it out. She won't even. To people, Toga is still a serial killer, right? And nobody saw that she saved Uraraka because the scammer died, right? But she's still just a murderer. The spinner flashback this chapter hints at. Yeah, let me go back to that. Right here. Right here. Yeah. He's not over it. He's never going to be over it. He probably feels so guilty. Crazy. If only I was stronger, I could have beat her ass so she didn't have to die. Yeah. But what's the end result? Lifelong prison sentence? Like, that feels lacking too. I ain't a fan of things like that. See, we don't, like, the My Hero world doesn't live in, like, I think the only thing that pops into mind is Naruto, because it's, like, Sasuke did some things where he should have been, like, imprisoned. And because people that were friends of, like, his friends were in charge, like, kind of pardoned him. So he just kind of got off, and he just wandered around for years until he finally came back. Like, that wasn't happening in this world. Like, these, like, Dabi, like, Toya, did too much to be free. Toga did too much to be free. Shigaraki did too much to be free. Like, all of these characters, they did too many things. They were individuals who never like wanted to be what they became. Right? They didn't want to be like these evil murderers, killing people and doing all these things. Life pushed them in that direction. But, and it's like, even though they got pushed in that direction, there's still that piece of them in there that never wanted to do this. So it's like, to have for Shigaraki, for Toya, for Toga, they each had, the three of them had individuals who wanted to like pull them back. And for Toya, it was able to happen, but he was going to die anyways. He wasn't supposed to be alive in the first place. For Toga, seemingly it wasn't enough for Toga. She ends up dying. And for Shigaraki, she's like, fuck it. I got consigned to this life. Guess what? I'm going to take whatever. I'm just going to roll with this. Roll with the dice. It rolled out this way, and this is what I'm going to do. I found my people. I have my people. As much as Lil Tenko wishes this may have never happened and wishes he could have been a hero, that's not in the card. We can't roll this back, boy. Can't roll this back. So we're gonna stick with this. So Shigaraki stood on business. Stood on business. But it's like they all had someone that wanted to pull them back, but none of them, because they went so far and their convictions were so strong before they got cracked, right? Before their convictions got cracked, they all did too much. So if they all would have survived, there was no there was no them being free. There just was no them being free. I remember I feel like we talked about this a while ago, where it's just like, what, they're just going to sit in jail if they survive? Like, we're just going to leave Shigaraki in jail? We're just going to leave Toga in jail? I felt like Toga would have been the one that I could see survive and be free because of just what her quirk is. And that's why I've mentioned it time and time again, where I'm like, Toga could have the Dark Knight Rises ending, where it's like Alfred tells Bruce he always wishes that, I forgot where, Vienna, I think, where it was where he was like, he told Bruce, he was like, I always wish that I would go to this place and I sit at this table and I'd look across and see you with some lovely lady, and I would nod at you and you would nod at me, and I would be happy, and I would never have to talk to you ever again, and I would just be happy. And then you get to the end of the movie and that exactly happens. You see like the emotion hit him in like a second, and he just nods his head, he gets up and he leaves, because his heart's desire was achieved, that Bruce was able to like leave this life. I could have seen something like that for Toga, where it was, right? It's like you could have had a moment where Ochako could have been in like some public area or a crowded place, like a mall or somewhere, and she like for a split second is looking through the crowd and sees Toga, and they like smile at each other, and then like people walk past, and then she's gone, and that's it, and we never see Toga again, and Toga just goes somewhere, and Ochako could just live with the fact that she's free, or she's not being burdened by this life that has been created for her, that this society has conjured up. Like, I could have seen some moment like that, and it would have been really good. But her sacrificing herself for Ochako is crazy. It's crazy. I like it. It's tough. It's one of those things where it's just like, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. It makes me think of early Tower of God, whenever Kun says the redacted, I wish I found him before you did. It's like one of those moments, like, for all of these characters, for all these villains, the younger villains anyways, like, I wish that someone else could have found you besides the individuals that did. Like, I wish you could have had someone around you, like an Ochako, that was willing to be your friend regardless of what your issues were. That Shigaraki could have had someone like a Deku when he was a baby or something like that. Or someone else besides. At this point, it doesn't, like, if someone else could have found, I don't know, it's tough. if I don't know, it's so many, just each one of them has a moment where it's just like, if this was different, maybe life could have been different. Maybe life could have been different. Oh my gosh. It's okay with Toga being alive since it felt like the only one still had a chance. Yeah. Uraraka and Toga mirror twice in Hawk's fight. But Uraraka being able to save her, which kinda she did save her. Uraraka did save Toga. I don't want to overlook that. Because Toga, Toga, how she's been just running off of pure emotion, would have never saved Ochiko if Ochiko never reached her. She never would have. So it's like Ochiko did save her, and then Toga made a decision to give her life to save her instead. Neither Deku nor Shiggy went back on their beliefs. No, they didn't. Well, Deku kinda. I would say no, because the one thing you have to remember, Gran Torino told Deku that to save someone, sometimes you have to kill someone in order to save them. And I don't think from that point on we never got an answer. Like, Deku never answered Gran Torino or gave his opinions on what Gran Torino said. He never did. Gran Torino gave him his cape and gave him that statement, and from that point on the Dark Deku arc started. So we never got an answer. We know how Deku felt prior about killing. Right, I'm trying to think. I don't think we ever got an answer or a retort or anything. That's probably something that sat in the back of Deku's brain, just echoing back there. We just never got to see it. We might eventually, maybe. So I don't know. Unless you had an ending like Avatar. Avatar, yeah. D-Power, no way to regain. That's a possible way. Yeah, I think if there was a way to take their quirks away, like if it would have been like somehow Deku got all for one and then started just taking all the villains' quirks away, so they're just normal people. If it was something like that, then maybe there could be some way to redemption for these characters. Just being weird, but we still have no confirmation. We don't. That's the thing. I feel like that's what that's why I'm worried with Ari's like theory, because there was no confirmation that Toga died. The last we seen of Toga was she laying there? She was laying there. And then we seen Ochiko in the helicopter, but we never seen Toga. And that's why I remember we talked about it in that moment, like whoever came there to pick Uraraka up would have seen Toga laying there. And there would have been some note being made of Toga has been apprehended or something like that. We never seen that. That's why I want to say, Tink, you said that what if it was Toga that transformed into Uraraka and they took Toga away because Uraraka knows that they would have never given her the proper aid for her to survive. And I was like, that could be a possibility too. That's crazy. But it felt like the Uraraka that got taken on the helicopter, that indeed was her. So it's like there's no telling where Toga is. We don't know where Toga is. So I feel like this next chapter might tell us like what happened. Because we seen the Toga twice is all starting to just like speckle and disappear, along with Toga laying next to Uraraka. And then there's just like a blank, and then it's like Uraraka's on a helicopter. We don't know. There's time that we don't know what happened. We have no idea what happened. So I think that's what next chapter is going to show us. Because if this is our Ochiko standing in front of us crying right now, I don't think she would be this broken up if Toga didn't die. I think I feel like that might be a safe thing to say. It still could be wrong, but I feel like that's a safe thing to say. If Toga didn't die, I don't see how Ochiko would be this broken up. She feels like she's heartbroken right now because she probably watched Toga die. That's tough. And there's nothing she could do about it. There's nothing that she could do about it. It's tough. These are still kids, by the way. They're 16. They're 16, 17. They're still children. It's a lot to deal with. Excuse me. Maybe she thinks Toga died, but Toga's alive secretly on her own. Maybe. That could be a possibility too. Because Ochako is in and out of consciousness, so we never know. Also, Deku's too young to have all these scars. Like, how much of his body is missing? He still has his limbs, but just missing flesh. Right? Missing so much missing flesh on this boy. These deep scars. Apparently not in Japan. The age thing is weird. Nah, they're like 16, right? 2 chapters left and still no info on the new person. I wonder how long the last chapter is going to be. That's what I'm curious about. That's what I'm curious about. He's going for Killua's record. Yeah. I think who's got the record for that? I think like Scars. I think of Vash, right, from Trigun. He's carved. 16 considered an adult. Though in Japan, it's 18. It used to be like the age of consent laws in previous years used to be really young. It used to be like 12 or something. But if I'm not mistaken, in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, that was like ratified by each like province, and they upped it to 18. I want to say because I remember talking about this a couple of years ago in regards to all the Rurouni Kenshin stuff. I remember talking about it and like someone filling me in on what it was, because I had went through like looking up certain things and looking up like the age of consent and all these things, and it's in different places in the world. Things are mad different from how it is here where I live. So it's like one of those things where it's like it's odd, but I want to say it's 18. Yeah, they are on the same cliff. So that's what I feel like this conversation between them will be like the thing that matter of fact, what chapter I thought I remembered it. I want to go back really quick. It's 3. Sorry. Is it this one? No. Couple more back. Nope. Right here. It's right here. 342. I wanted to look at their conversation that they had on this cliff. All right. So Uraraka Odeku, you're all unpacked. I hardly brought anything, just some spare clothes. Thank you for what you did. Sorry I couldn't find a moment to say anything until now, but thank you. I mean it. That was nothing, you know. You never change, huh? The sweat, always sweating the small stuff. Like, so what you doing out here? Just looking at the city. Kind of weird. Weird? You're not weird. Blah, 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 blah. Back there when I was shouting from the top of UA, out of nowhere, thoughts of Himiko Toga popped into my head. We fought, you know, just me and her during Gigantomachia's rampage. She said something and I fired back with stuff I thought was obvious stuff I take for granted. She looked so sad hearing that. Look what they did to the city. She's a villain who helped them snuff out people's lives, their happiness. My brain liking even numbers. Can we finish on 430? The thought of just forgiving her? Nah, we're way past that point. Of course, I know that, but still. She's a person too, and I have no clue what's obvious for her, like what she takes for granted. I got to thinking about how I don't know the first thing about Himiko Toga. So yeah, I'm just out here taking a gander at the city. So I'll never forget the horrors I saw that day, and to keep those weird, silly thoughts out of my head. That's everything from this conversation and everything she's talking about. How bad you think the fans' reactions would be if they somehow kiss next chapter? The people who love the ship would love it. The people who hate the ship would hate it. It would be the single most divisive thing that happened in the series. Bakugo coming back from the death, how Shigaraki died, what happened to All for One. It would be the most divisive. It would split the fandom in many pieces. It really would. It would split the fandom into many pieces. I feel like I love the way that their relationship has been handled. I love it a lot. I think it's been very clear since the start that these two like each other. And I think it's been, in order not to like sacrifice her character and for her to end up just being the girl that likes Deku. Like she's been, it's like, I wish I could have gotten more of her, but the stuff that we have gotten of her, I've loved it. And she was able to, like, it's just like, I don't know. It's weird that there's a moment in the series where she literally says, I can't let my crush on Deku take over my brain. I need to stand up for myself and do my own thing. She says that, and then people are like, she's just, like, I've heard people say that Ochiko is just like Sakura. And I'm like, what series are you reading? There's no way. Right? There's no way you could, like, that those two are even the same. Like, there's no way you feel that way. Like you can't. You can't feel that way at all. Like, their relationship feels like it feels like the relationship between two people that have a crush on each other, but don't say it. They both act mad, like, right? They both act mad weird around each other. They rarely can have a normal moment with each other if their lives aren't on the line. They act like 16-year-olds that have a crush on each other, and they're both shy. That's what it feels like. I enjoy their relationship a lot, and it makes the most, like, of every single character you could think of in the series, these two being together make the most sense. All right, let me continue. Saw a little boy inside Shigaraki was crying. Maybe there's no way to avoid a battle, but I can't ignore what I saw deep inside him. Guess both of us are kind of weird. Some of them have already gone to NK ship confirmed, then this ship oh. I hate shippers. I'm tempted, right? I hate shippers. I don't mind having conversations of characters ending up in relationships. Right, I don't mind that, but I hate shippers where their existence is shipping. So stupid. I hate it. Tempted to join Twitter just to see the meltdown. You're not, because you're gonna do it and you're gonna see something that actually pisses you off. Nothing pisses me off more than when someone with a big following says that they wish that they wrote the end of this series because they would have done a better job than Hori. It's like, suck a dick, go sit on a dick. Piece of shit. Like, I hate that. I hate stuff like that. I hate people when people talk about that. So that's why I'm like, it's like I'm always like, yeah, whatever, I don't care what people say. And then you'll like see something that literally pisses you off, and it's just like, whoa. It's like, for real? It's just it's gross. I don't like it. I don't like it. I did. I did. It's crazy, man. We'll put a stop to them for sure. Actually, listening to the both of them, right? What I feel like, I wonder how Deku's gonna feel, because if we're looking at the conversation, what they were talking about, and how Ochiko's like how she's like, she's so split because she's done so many bad things, I can't forgive her, but she's still a person. And we know that Ochako and Toga eventually reached the point of, damn, if things were different, we really would have been friends. And they reached like this common ground. They reached common enough ground that Toga, at this point in time, gave her life so that Ochako could live. And in the grand scheme of looking at their conversation before this big battle, she was way more successful into breaking into her counterpart and being successful into breaking those walls down. Deku broke his way into Shigaraki and found Little Tenko, and Little Tenko was like, no, I'm a villain. And then Deku killed him. That's crazy. Oh my god. Oh shit. Yo, that's crazy. That's like in very cliff notes, that's what happened. Deku threw everything away. He threw everything away to get to the core of Shigaraki. And Lil Tenko was like, I'm a hero for the villains. I'm their guy. And Deku was like, say less, and dusted him. It's crazy. Oh gosh, that's crazy. So it's like, in the grand scheme of things, Ochako was way more successful. Deku failed. He failed. The thing is Deku failed and he knows he failed. But it's like, in him failing, I don't think there was a way for him to have succeeded. I don't think so. I think that ship sailed. There was no way for him to succeed. The claws weren't too deep for Shigaraki. Shigaraki already made peace with everything that happened. Made peace. That's the easiest term I could put. He didn't make peace. But it's like he already like decided that this is what I'm going to be. Like, you can't talk no jutsu me. You can't. This is who I am. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, Deku did you got to think, Deku did everything to speak to the core of Shigaraki, and wasn't able to move him. He wasn't able to move him. And it's just like, in the grand, it's like, it's a failure, yes, but it's like, it's more, I'm looking at it as partially a Deku failure, but it's more of like Shigaraki steeled his resolve. Shigaraki, in the final moments of his life, realized that he was just the pawn, and instead of like lashing out at the fact of figuring this out, he looked to the good part in all of this, and all of this bad, and all of the bad. That's why I like how it ended. That's how I like how it ended. And all of the bad, and finding out that All For One planned his whole life, all these things, did all these terrible things. The good was the League of Villains. Toga, Dabi, Twice, Spinner, and Compress. That was the good. Those were his people. Those are the people you're going to fight for. This is what I'm doing everything for. And he just was like, I'm their guy. I'm their hero. And that's what I will be. If that's the only thing I can choose on my own, that's what I will be. And it's just, and that's it. And now that's it. Right? So it's like, that's it. And at that point, there's nothing else that to be said. That's why I wasn't upset that Deku and Shigaraki didn't have to talk anymore. There's nothing left to be said between them. Right? They never had a relationship. Like, they never really had a relationship. They crossed paths 3 times. And their stories were so similar, but like their conversation and everything that they had, they said all they needed to say to each other. That's why it's just, I guess we're just gonna fight. That's it. There's nothing left to be said. We just have to fight. And Deku came out the winner. He won that battle. He won that clash. So, and I feel like that's just, It's painful because Deku won that clash because of the relationships that he built. And this final arc it showed the slow breaking down of all of Shigaraki's bonds. All of his friends lost their battles, and Deku's friends won, and Deku's friends propelled him to win that battle against Shigaraki. So it sucks. And I feel like Deku's never going to let that go, but I feel like this conversation with Ochiko will then lead into Deku's true feelings. He gave us a glimpse whenever he was talking to All Might of how he felt now that Shigaraki is dead. So I feel like he's gonna eventually pour that out. How about you need to get up in your flashbacks you flashback to the dad who's beating on you. Success depends on the recipient, right? All saying you can't help someone who doesn't want it, right? You can't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. You can do all of these things, but if the person's not willing to help themselves, there's nothing you can do. It's like if you know someone that's struggling with some sort of like addiction or anything of the sorts, you can want them to get clean really bad, but if they don't want to get clean, guess what? It doesn't matter what you do. You can make them go to rehab. You could make them do this. You live here. You do this. You do this. If they don't want to be clean, they'll find a way to use again. It's only when that individual wants to change that they put the effort in to change. You can't force someone to do anything. They're just going to go the opposite direction. So it's just, and that's indicative of this. Deku he literally threw everything away to pull Shigaraki to the good side. And Shigaraki was like, no, I'm not going over there. I'm staying here. And it's just like, fine. That's all you can do. That's it. That is it. Last convo with the both of them that the both of them had. Shiggy acknowledged Deku was right and him telling him to do his best. So yeah, that was kind of a win. How I took that conversation too, where it's like Shigaraki is like, I want to destroy the world, and he wasn't able to crumble all of Earth, right, and just leave oceans. He wasn't able to do that. But Shigaraki destroyed Hero Society. He did that. Like, he destroyed Hero Society before All For One. Like, that was as All For One's trying to sink his clutches into him. Before they became this one mind meld thing, Shigaraki is the one that dealt the blow to Japan. That spiraled, that, like, it was like we're getting to a point, and All For One shaping everything, of course. And we're getting to this point, and we need the thing to, like, we need the last straw. And the last straw was whenever Shigaraki decayed the city and the hospital and all that stuff. Shigaraki did that. He did that. So he destroyed, like, Hero Society crumbled from that. There was no more pillar, so it was at any given point this could have fell through. But Shigaraki pushed it. He destroyed Hero Society. He did. And now it's up to Deku and company to rebuild Hero Society in a way that it's not going to be solely reliant on one individual to keep it afloat. Speaking for Japan, anyways. But it's like All Might was the one pillar for the last half. He had one for all for over 40 years. Like, he was the pillar for decades. He virtually wiped crime out. Like, crime in Japan was in the single digits. The single digits he had. It's hard to, like, put it into words because All For One is always talking greasy. He's always smart with it. He's always saying something. So it's hard to take him serious. But whenever All For One is saying, like, dude, like, you, like, and it sounds like he's laughing or saying it in jest, but he's like, you were terrifying when your guts were spilling out of you and you were charging at me. I was terrified. He's really saying that. He was really scared. Like, that really, like, he thinks about it. Endeavor starts popping off and he thinks of when All Might did kill him. He thinks of when All Might killed him. It's like, that was scary. When All For One says, I hate you, you put all of my friends in jail. They all are in jail or they're dead or something happened to them because of you. I hate you. It sounds like he's being tongue-in-cheek. He's serious. He's dead serious. He hates him. It terrifies him. All Might did that all by himself. So now it's like, now that he's gone, all of this is going to crumble. And we need to build it back up. So hopefully now, with this new generation of heroes, you have Hawks in charge of the safety commission. I forgot, not the safety. Is it the safety commission? I can't remember. They said it 2 chapters ago. But it's like, you have Hawks in charge of that. You're gonna be, you're like, in another year or so, if like, you're gonna have our class heading into the hero workspace and all these things and all these team, like all of this stuff. Hopefully we can build a new hero society that's not just being led by one individual. Hell, there isn't a person right now who isn't named that's as strong as All Might or Endeavor. So we don't have one single individual that can stand out against the rest, because we don't know at this point. We still don't know if Deku's going to keep his quirk or not. We don't know if he's going to get it back or if he's going to lose it. We have no idea. And it's like, we don't know what Bakugo's going to be like. He's crippled now. He's actually handicapped now. I guess it would be the one standing strong in front of everyone else would be Shoto. He would probably end up being the strongest one if everything is said and done. Bakugo he's gonna put up a fight as to whether or not he wants that to happen. But right now it would be Shoto that would probably end up being like the one to take that step forward, I guess. So I don't know. So I feel like with Endeavor being wheelchair bound and retiring, Hawks does not have a quirk. Edge Shot is literally this big and probably will be this big for the foreseeable future. Best Genius has never been the same ever since he first got attacked from All For One. He's never fully recovered. Mirko is a quadriplegic, actually. She doesn't have arms or legs. She is going to have prosthetics for all of them. So she's going to be a shell of herself. Literally all of the strongest heroes are all either retired or physically maimed. And they'll never be as strong as they used to be. So you're going to have the big 3 that's heading into, I guess Mirio will end up being the #1 hero for a little bit. That would make the most sense to me. So I feel like it's going to end up in a way where it's going to be a hero society where all of these heroes work together to keep everything working. There's not going to be a clear individual that is head and shoulders stronger than everyone else for a good while. It's going to be a while before that happens. And that'll either be Bakugo or Shoto, if Deku ends up losing One For All.